Great, thank you very much. So I just wanted to do a little informal piece around presenting and speaking really, and within that I wanted to do your intros so we can do them informally, but maybe if you wanted a little bit of feedback on your intros I could do that personally as well if you wanted to. Is everyone up for a bit of that, or you don't have to be? You're up for it? Few are up for it, the rest don't. Well, it's optional, you don't have to, you can do it afterwards if you want to say, no, I don't want any feedback, I'm brilliant as I am. So I wanted to do that as part of the session if you want. But just to get us kicked off, I guess when I say public speaking or presenting, some of you are like, yeah, that's fine, and some of your faces are like, so I won't be picking on anyone, but I will be asking for you to join in if you want to. But if you don't want to say anything, that's also fine. So don't feel you're going to get picked on. But what is it about public speaking that people love it or hate it? Hate it?
One of the worst things.
Many people hate it.
Yeah, really. The scariest thing.
Yeah, they do, yes. A lot of people do, yeah. So why is that? What are we scared of?
Fear no one will pay attention.
No one will pay attention, yeah?
Being embarrassed.
Being embarrassed, yeah?
Forget what you can say.
You're going to forget what you're going to say?
Won't sound interesting.
Okay, won't sound interesting, yeah? They're kind of common ones. I talk about these as your like little public speaking monkeys. This is why I've got my wooden monkey here. So he says to you, like, you're stupid, you're boring, you're not good enough, or nobody's going to listen to you, or you're going to forget. So a couple of those monkeys you already mentioned, haven't you? So just have a think about what your monkey is, because I think that everybody has monkeys. Even if you're a confident presenter, you can have monkeys, because I had a monkey. Well, I tamed all of my monkeys that I know of, and then you come across a situation that you haven't done before, and if you're pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, you come across another monkey. So even after I tamed all my monkeys, allegedly, then I went training for a room full of doctors, and I suddenly felt scared about that. So therefore I've got a monkey about it, and I realised that must have been your stupid monkey, because they're doctors, so they must be cleverer than me. So I had to tame that monkey. Another monkey, I think I talked to you guys about this when I went on ITV News at 10. I had a monkey, you're going to swear live on TV with your mum listening. How can you predict you're going to have that monkey? And again, so on the train from St Albans down into London, I could have either been worried about swearing live on TV or getting rid of my monkey and then doing the prep I needed for the interview. Which one's going to be most useful? What will happen if I am thinking, oh no, I hope I don't swear?
Probably swear.
So this is the thing with our monkeys. So what we do, even before we start speaking, we're saying, oh no, I hope I don't forget, or I hope I don't look stupid, or I hope I'm not embarrassed, or I hope I don't fall over. Or so you're kind of creating some of your own problems because you're focusing on the very thing you don't want, and then you're more likely to get it, aren't you? Are you most of you aware of that theory of don't think of a blue tree, are you? So what are you thinking of now? I told you not to think of blue tree. Yeah. Pizza?
Pink sky.
Pizza, it's all about food. Oh, pink sky. So you do, you have to think of a blue tree and then go, no, I won't think about that, I'll think of pink sky instead. So that's the same thing with your monkeys. If you think about your negative stuff, you're more likely to make it happen yourself. So if I'd kind of come into this session and sort of, if I already came in with my monkeys, hi, we've got 30 minutes together. Anything you want to ask? I've already done something to you, haven't I? I've already made you have. Because if my fear is the audience are going to be bored, what are you going to be now if I start like that? Getting your phone out, going, oh, funnily enough, I've got a meeting I've got to go to. So you're going to be reacting like you were then, with your faces going, oh no. So then I'm going to go, oh, I knew I was boring, because they're all looking at me like I'm boring, glazed over. And now I've created my own monkeys without even having said a word, just with my body language. So it's very important you need to get rid of your monkeys first before you start speaking. And that's what I've written a whole book about, taming your public speaking monkeys. And there's 3 steps to it, so I'll just briefly take you through 3 of them. Before I do that, can you all write down, you won't have to share this, you can if you want to. Can you all write down what you think your monkey is? So you're going to forget it's definitely a monkey, you're stupid, you're wrong. They're not true, by the way, luckily. And you won't have to share this monkey with anyone if you don't want to, so you can keep it private if you want to. But it's going to be a worry, it's going to be your prime concern that when you get up to speak you're going to whatever. And most people have their own one, so you might think it's stupid and someone else will be wrong or silly or whatever. Is anyone brave enough to share your monkey? You don't have to, but anyone else brave enough? We've heard a few already.
But forget what I was going to say.
Forget what you're going to say, monkey. Okay, you'd already said that one as well. So there's a couple, at least we know two. Forget boring monkey. Now you're in financial advice, aren't you?
Probably why boring it's freaking
So
hard. Because for most people it's like,
yeah. So boring and forget. What else have we got?
I'm sure the conviction that nobody will really be that interested is quite common.
Yeah. So that's kind of the
So
boring
I'm going to
monkey.
talk for a minute or half a minute, and frankly, they just want me to shut up.
But that is your monkey. It's not everyone. So
No.
It's not that. It's common as in some people have forget or boring or.
Well, it's sort of highlighted by the TED Talks on YouTube. There's always someone who talks for 10 or 15 minutes on something really fascinating. You think, yeah, they're talking about something really fascinating, and now I'm just going to tell people.
I'm going to give you some tips later on how to make it a bit more interesting as well, actually. So we've got some tips there on interesting. Good. Anything else on monkeys?
I don't like my sort of speaking voice.
Right.
I'm always worried I'm going to speak too quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry, so talk too
So speaking too fast is quite common because we get nervous because we've got the monkeys. So that's just a symptom. Speaking too quickly is a symptom. It's just an output of having a monkey. But how I sound could easily be a monkey. And there's different monkeys. So there's red, amber, and green. So the red monkeys are not true. So somebody said about stupid or silly. Stupid or silly. That's a red monkey because you're not stupid or silly. So you know that's completely untrue. So when you tame your monkey, you want to get rid of that altogether because you're not stupid. Otherwise you wouldn't be doing your job you're doing now. But the reason it's a monkey is because half of you believes it, you're a monkey, and the other half of you goes, no, I know I'm not stupid actually because I've got a good job and blah, blah, blah. So that's a red monkey. It's like a traffic light system. And then there's green monkeys, which are true, and you just need to learn a skill. So a green monkey could be, I don't know how to use PowerPoint, or I don't know how to structure my presentation into 15 minutes so I don't overrun, or I don't know how to remember this much information. They're skill sets that you can learn, and that's in the book as well. The amber monkeys are interesting. They're kind of in the middle. They're a little bit of red and a little bit of green. So forgetting monkey is probably going to be amber, because actually you're over-exaggerating how much you think you're going to forget, but there might be a green monkey in there that you don't know how to remember properly. Does that make sense? So that's an amber monkey. So when you tame that one, you'd end up with a green monkey, which is, I need to learn how to remember well. That's fine. And boring is also potentially an amber monkey, which is a bit of red, over worry about it, and a little bit of green. Maybe if you've got financial advice, you need to learn how to package that up into, or accountants, or heavy material type people, engineers, people with heavy things, services or products. You need to learn how to package that up into something that's more digestible if you're speaking to lay people, I call it. If you're talking to the industry people, you can include as much as they all understand it. Solicitors the same. So does that kind of explain what monkeys are? So shall I just talk to you a little bit about how you get the monkeys, how they came about? Yeah.
Would you say mine's not actually not about delivering, it's the nerves surrounding the doing.
Yeah, and what are you nervous of?
Antically, it's completely irrational.
Okay, so
but it kicks in, it's a physical thing.
There would be something underneath that, because otherwise you'd be doing it all the time. So you need to, through the monkey taming process, what you do is go underneath the nerves and say specifically what am I nervous about. So is it about looking stupid? So nerves are generally just a wrapper, and your brain, your monkey is telling you it's time to be nervous because I don't want you to look. And obviously it's a bad thing, otherwise it wouldn't be nerves, would it? If you all thought it was going to go extremely well and everything's going to be brilliant, you wouldn't need to be nervous. So you need to find out what your monkey is. So that's step one, is catching the monkey. So some people's are obvious, some people's might take a bit more time to get there. And then when you connect with it, you find out where it came from. So let's say your stupid monkey, or let's say your forget monkey, because a couple of people have mentioned that. It's highly likely that your monkey happened between 0 and 7 years old. Because this is when we don't have a conscious mind, we just have an unconscious mind. So we haven't got that logic to say, don't worry about it, little baby Dee. So between 0 and 7, if you can think of an event that would have caused you to have that monkey. So for example, forget might be in a school play. You might have said the line wrong, or you could have been singing in full school assembly and you forgot the words, or something that seems tiny now but would have caused you to have that monkey. So say like I was singing at the front of full school assembly and I forgot the words and you noticed, what would you all do? As little 7-year-olds, you'd all laugh at me, wouldn't you? So immediately I'm going to have, oh no, that's awful, I don't want to do that again. Sorry?
Yeah, it would be cruel.
Yeah, well, it's not cruel, is it? Because you didn't mean it that way, but it is. It has a negative impact on me, probably. So then my monkey says, don't worry, Dee, I'll make sure you never do that again. How will I make sure that you're never going to forget again?
Never do anything.
Yes, exactly. So there I am at 5, 6, 7. I've learnt now not to put up my hand, make sure I don't volunteer for everything, stay in the corner, stay quiet, stay out of trouble. So the same with your stupid monkey, for example, you might be reading a book. This is a lot of people's first experience of public speaking. Teacher says, Clayton, stand up and read. Now, am I reading because I'm an excellent reader, or am I reading because I don't really know how to read yet? Which one is it? I don't really know how to read yet, so here I am, you know. They came out of the camps, and the Red Indian chef said to the... So you get chef and chief muddled up, and everyone laughs. There I am, that's my first public speaking event, and now I think I'm stupid. So now I've got your stupid monkey. My monkey says, don't worry, Dee, I'll make sure you never look stupid again. How will I do that? Avoid it. Eyes down. Learn that. You know that one where the teacher looks at you and you eyes down. I think we've all learned that by about 5, haven't we? So that might not be your monkey. Obviously, we've all got different monkeys, but does that make sense as to how you get them? So if you don't do anything about your monkeys, you'll actually carry them through, probably, for the rest of your life until you actually do something about it. Because now I think it's true, I'll make sure it is true. So now if I already think I'm stupid, I'm going to drop something and go, oh, I knew I was stupid, and then I'm not going to be able to answer a question, I told you I was stupid. Or with forget monkey, all of us forget at a certain time, don't we? And though, if you've got a monkey about it, you're going to go, well, each time you do forget, I told you I was rubbish at remembering, and you go bash the monkey. That's why I've got the banana, because you feed the monkey all the time, you're saying it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse, yeah? So you shouldn't do that. And what you need to do is get rid of the monkey so that even if you do forget, if I forget what I'm going to say now, I know it's just a little bit, and I'll go, oh, I was just about to say something. Let me carry on, and I don't make you feel uncomfortable. And you did it brilliantly earlier. You had a little blank and you didn't look uncomfortable, so we're fine with that. Had you gone, oh my God, you're the new member, I can't even remember. We would have all freaked out and it would have gone awfully, wouldn't it? So, but as it is, everyone's fine. If you're fine with it, everyone else is fine with it. It's how you manage situations. So it's not that it's not going to happen to you, it's that you manage it much better. Does that make sense? So that's catching with it and connecting with it is where did it come from, and then the third thing is to challenge the monkey, which is a bit like Judge Judy, take it to court, get rid of it. But you need to do the first 2 steps before you do that. So that's about monkeys. That covers kind of why we're scared of and nervous about public speaking. And I don't think many people explain it like that. This is kind of my unique way of talking about it, but I don't think anyone kind of explains it in that way before, but you haven't heard anyone else talk about it. That's all. Any questions about that, or any thoughts or observations? Do you think that's kind of relevant?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Resonate with you?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you need to do about the nerves. You need to get rid of them. And then there's the second bit, so that's kind of mindset. And then the second bit is skill sets. So of course, if you want to improve public speaking, you want to improve your skill sets as well. So I'm now going to talk a little bit about skill sets, but you have to do mindset first, because otherwise you just learn some things and then what? You don't do them, because you're too scared of looking stupid, forgetting, or whatever your monkey was. So that's why I never do training that are just skill sets only. I have to sort out mindset first, otherwise I won't do it about it.
Are there many people who actually really like public speaking naturally? And
Do you?
don't have
Sure there are.
any monkeys at all, or, you know.
So that's a different question. Are there people that like it? Yes. So I've always liked it. I was head girl at school and I've always liked it. Does that mean they don't have any monkeys? No, I believe everyone has monkeys. Now, whether their monkeys show in public speaking or elsewhere, because public speaking is just an area where it shows, and the reason it shows more in public speaking is most people can't hide. You can't have an excuse, you can't get someone else to do it for you, you can't hide behind an email. There you are. People are reading your body language. So normally it happens in public speaking because there's nowhere else to go with that. But it can happen in other areas of life, of course. So yes, I think people like speaking, and I always think the people who are more introverted, you know what I mean, extroverted and introverted? So often the introverted people don't like speaking as much as the extroverts. I think that's great because, well, hands up who thinks they're more introverted, anyone? So in a way you've got the benefit because you already know you don't like public speaking, potentially, so you're probably going to go, well, I'm going to learn more about it. People sometimes that need it more but never seek the help because they like it, they might like it, it doesn't mean you're interested in it, but they're happy talking, right? Doesn't mean they're good speakers just because they're confident. So they may be confident but still talking a little bit of whatever the word is. Know what I mean? Can you all think of somebody that you've seen in the last year that's done that? So, there's strengths and weaknesses to both. Introverts are more likely to seek the help because they've got a kind of problem about standing up. The extroverts, yes, they like it, but it doesn't mean they're good and effective speakers. So we've all got strengths and weaknesses. Does that answer your question? Any other thoughts about that?
I would say that I am an extrovert, but not when it comes to speaking.
So that's definitely a monkey then. So if your monkey stop you being you, so I don't change anybody. Actually, what I do is kind of refine the original you and add a few skill sets so you're a better you. But often the monkeys are blocking you from being exactly the person you should be. So yeah, you're extroverted naturally, but the monkey's stopping you from being that kind of presenting.
I just think sometimes if you're extrovert too much, it's a bit intense for everybody.
Yes,
So it's important to have that balance. So you have to,
Yes.
as an extrovert, you have to have ears as well, so you can listen to everybody's opinion.
Yeah.
So I sort of flip between the two, if I'm really honest. I can be introvert, I can be extrovert.
That's great. So that's a skill set. So if you're extroverted, a skill set is to learn how to be a bit more introverted to suit the audience, and the same the introverts is a skill set to be a bit more extroverted if you need to. But you didn't say that. You said I'm not being me in my presenting. So that's the monkey bit that needs to. I mean, you need to be you, but yes, do we flex on me? Yes. So when you see me in a conference presenting to 500 people, I'll be different, and when you see me in the pub, I'll be different. But you still know it's Dee. I'll just be a different, but it won't be, oh, who is that person? I haven't changed so dramatically that you don't notice me. And that's partly, I think, the problem with these acting. Some of these trainers are ex-actors. You shouldn't act. I think that's the worst thing you can be, is an actor up here, because you're going to get caught out, because then you're going to be not you. You want to be exactly yourself. So that's kind of the benefit of it. So I wanted to get a bit into skill sets, if that's enough on mindsets. Any other questions or thoughts on mindsets before I move on to skill sets? So I wanted to teach you a quick skill set about introductions, because I know you're going to do a brief introduction if you want to. I think if you're really monkeyed up, you don't need to, but of course it's a small room and it's a safe environment, so if you want to, that'd be a great thing to do. So I'm just going to go around the room, but can I just give you a couple of hints to make it even better? And I'll give you a little bit of prep time, because I know I've got half a room of introverts who are going, I can't do it off the cuff, I need to prep. So I'm going to give you a whole 1 minute. So there's 3 steps to a really good introduction. Do you want 3 or just 2? Keep it really simple, or go for the 3 steps? 3. All 3 steps at once.
Advanced.
Advanced, let's go straight to advanced. So the first, I want you to write, I don't believe in scripts, but this has a script because it's only a few words. So the first part of the script is you know how. You know how. So I want you to start your introduction with you know how, and then you're going to fill that in. And what you're going to fill it in with is the problem that you solve. So you're going to describe the problem. So you know how some people really hate presenting, they're really nervous. And you should be nodding at this point, right? So you know how some people have got a pension and are so worried about what to do with it because it's collecting dust. Nod, that's what you're looking for. So you know how, right? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a little nod. So it could be you know how you, or you know how some people. So if it's a specific target market that's not in this room, you can't say you know how some people want to take a master's degree. You're all going to be going, huh? But you know how some. No, sorry, if you say, you know how you want to take a master's degree, that's not going to work, is it? Because you don't necessarily want to. So then I would say, you know how some people want to. So you need to think of your problem, because everyone think of a problem that they solve, because that's why you're in business, that's why people pay you money to solve their problems. So don't write yourself a script or an essay, I just want you to write a few words that will remind you of what you're going to say, because these are the people you deal with every day, aren't they? Your general moan that you get. Anyone not written anything, or I'm not quite sure? Everyone got something? Because you're going to be going round in a minute, so if you haven't got... Okay, Steve, what do you do?
Driving school.
Sorry?
Driving school.
Okay, so what's my problem if I want to come to you then?
Nervous?
Can't
Yeah.
drive.
Can't drive.
Oh,
Either of those, so pick on one. So,
all right.
you know, what do you specialise with? Nervous drivers, or young drivers, or old drivers, or any drivers?
Okay.
So you know how when you get to 17, the main thing you really want to do is drive, but you have no clue how to do it.
No, I haven't.
Makes sense, don't I?
Just because we wrote the same thing doesn't mean I copied you.
Oh, there's a copying allegations there at the back.
So you know how some people copy other people.
But what I do is I'm really strict. Good. Everyone got a problem, yeah? That's your client's problem, not your problems, by the way. This is your client's problems or your customer's problems. And what we want to get is a nod. We don't know if we've done it right because we're just practicing. So when you deliver it in a minute, we'll all be nodding or be going, huh? And that's how we get the feedback to see if it's any good, but we can adjust it after that. And the second part of the script is, well, what I do is, or what we do is. And that's the only script. I don't want you to write giant long sentences. And that's the solution. Well, what we do is we offer driving lessons for really nervous 17-year-olds or whatever it is. Well, what we do is we make finance simple. Well, what we do is find tenants that are actually going to respect your properties or whatever you do. So it's going to just be a couple of sentences. So hopefully you've all got a solution. And you want to link it to the, the one above as well. Problem, solution, they're the same thing. Bullet notes, bullet points. And then the third piece, are we done? A bit more time? Done? The third point is then a story to illustrate this. So the first two pieces are really just quite quick and quite brief. You don't go into detail. This is where you can have a little bit more detail, which is a story that illustrates this. Please, the same story that you've just told, how well what I do is story. So then for Steve, we go, the other day I helped this person who'd only took 10 lessons and he passed first time. He's absolutely delighted and drove up to see his grandma in Scotland. Whatever. Before she died the very next day. Add a bit of emotion in there if you want. So in a good story, there's before, which is how awful or how scared he was of driving or how he needed to get it done to see his grandmother before she died. And then the result, the end of the story is what a fantastic result they get, but also what they did after that. So just like financial advice, for example, with Sarah, not just I gave some great financial advice. What does that mean? That means they then knew they had enough money to go on holiday to America, or it means that they could give some extra money to their family or something. What does it mean? Nobody just wants the advice, they want to do something with that. Sleep easy at night, for example. So, does that make sense? So for those of you writing a script, don't do it, avoid it. For those of you writing bullet points, you will come out better on this trial, I'm telling you. Well done. So, any questions before we go around the room? It doesn't matter if we've got it right or wrong, just give it a go and then we can see if it works. That's kind of how it goes. Would this be useful though, to have? Because that it's basically, you can use this to answer that question. When people say, what do you do? Does anyone go, oh no, not that question? So you're like, oh, how do I talk about what I do? This is the answer to what do you do actually, because you can go, well, so what do you do? Well, how some people are nervous. Well, what I do is help them to be confident. Let me tell you a story about that. Make sense? Good. So let's go round the room. Start with. Is anyone want to bail out of this? I don't want anyone to feel. Everyone happy to go? Great. Happy. Yes. Okay.
You know how some business owners know their products and what they actually offer, but do not know how to manage employees and get the best from them. But what we provide is everything you need to get the best from your employees, from your contracts, your handbooks, your employment law, training and development, rewards and benefits. Recently we introduced a performance review process into one business, and sales went up by 20%, and the employee was also able to get their wedding rings from the actual money that they raised.
Oh, is that true? Oh, excellent. That's fab. Excellent. Good. So, can I give you a little bit of feedback? Is that great? So working backwards, I think the story is brilliant because will you remember that?
Yeah.
Because it had some emotion. That's going to make you remember the wedding ring story, isn't it? So that was great. Keep the story. And what else did you like about the story?
real.
It's real, yes. Please only have real stories, don't have non-real stories.
That make it hard.
What else was in the story? Anyone else remember anything else from the story other than wedding ring? Happy ending, yeah? Sales, did they increase or decrease?
Increase.
How much by?
20%.
So when you put a number in, people remember it. And it makes it more believable. It's much better to say 20% rather than sales went up. Isn't it? Because I don't believe it. When he says 20%, brilliant. Now had he said 21%, even better. Because odd numbers are even more believable than just 20%. 20% is good. 21 or 19 is even better than 20, yeah? But you've got to use the right number. 20.1%. Whatever. So an odd number is more memorable. Your first part with the problem could be even better by just sort of going straight into the employee problem. So you know how people who have employees are moaning about them all the time. Look for the nod and then, well, what I do is good stuff. Thank you for starting off.
So you know how frustrating it is when your IT doesn't help your business, it hinders your business. Well, what we do is we put IT infrastructure and processes into place that will help your business work more efficiently, save you money, and hopefully increase your productivity. We've recently just put into place a telephone solution for a client of ours who had several offices around the country, people on the roads. They were faced with numerous phone bills. They were paying for phone calls between their offices and for the users who are remotely. We put in a central phone system for them, and we've saved them over 51% of their costs. They're now working much more efficiently, they're much happier, and as a result, the business is growing.
Fantastic. Very well done. Excellent. So what did you like about that?
The ending, percentage, odd number, not even number. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Have you practiced that talk? Have you practiced that talk before?
I haven't.
Has anyone else heard his talk before?
No.
Has anyone met him before?
Yeah.
Great. Have you heard him introduce himself before?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you ever understood as much as he just did then?
Under pressure now.
That was much better, wasn't it? I've never even met you before, but that was really good. That was to the point. It did the problem. We were all nodding, going, yeah, we know that. And then you tell us, and also whether purposefully or not, you use the power of three. So you said I can save you money, productivity, and something else. So we use three, which is a very powerful thing to do as well. So I would say that's really just practice that, not word for word. Just keep on using the key points. And when you practice, what you want to do is just practice with the key points. Please don't learn this parrot fashion, because then it would be ruined, won't it? Because it'd be, hello, my name is Dee, and I must tell you these three things, and then you're going to get the forget monkey, and then the forget monkey's going to make you ruin it. So just keep it top line, and I thought that was brilliant. Very well done.
I don't know, President. We know how we've always wanted to drive, or we can't drive at the moment, maybe in about the countryside and relying on mum and dad, but you feel a bit too nervous to start. Well, we do a very structured approach in the way we teach you to learn to drive. We've got a set curriculum, but the most important thing is that we'll always go at your pace. So we never put you in a situation that you don't feel able to cope. Everybody's different, and it will be constructed to your individual needs. Just to give you an example, had a lady a couple of years ago, unfortunately her husband died quite young, and she was left with a severely disabled daughter that needed transportation, and she was extremely nervous about starting to learn to drive, but she felt like she had to do it. And using our approach, we were quite, really pleased that she managed to pass first time. She got herself a car that she was able to transport her disabled son around in, and we actually met her a couple of months ago, and she's now got herself a purpose-built car where she can get him in and out of the back. So we hopefully feel very well with nervous drivers.
Very good. Excellent, great. So what I liked is you added some emotion into that. That was good. Was it disabled son or daughter? Was it daughter before?
Well, it's got two, disabled daughter and a disabled son.
Right. So make sure you just keep the same one consistent. Otherwise, we don't believe
I got
you.
confused myself there. Yeah.
So keep the story consistent. But I love that story. I think it's good. What I think would make it even better next time, a little bit shorter, which will come with practice. Just keep to the key points, and just in terms of make sure in the first bit, then I would target. You know, you don't you don't have to just be young to want to learn to drive.
Yeah.
I'd use that theme. You know, some older people want to learn to drive for other reasons, and then go into it and make it even stronger. So overall, very good. Well done.
Thank you.
Done. You get another one.
You know how people come to you with their office problems? Well, what I do is listen, understand. I try to identify a resolve or a go-to person. I believe this motivates the team, individuals, and creates a happier working environment.
Good. Excellent. Any story?
No, sorry. That was hard enough, Dee.
Very good. Well done. So, what is your job role?
I'm
You're
an office manager.
Office
Yeah,
manager.
yeah.
Okay. So, where we put in what I haven't kind of said is where you're from. We haven't kind of put this into it yet, have we? But so, yeah, if you're in a networking pitch like this, I might just put it in wherever it fits naturally. But you don't want to put it in at the beginning because nobody's interested at the beginning, are they? We don't care. Sorry, Steve, but we don't driving company you're from until we've heard the story. Then we go, oh, where are you from? And then so you can now add at the end of the thing. You could say, you know, that's I'm Dee Clayton from Simply Amazing Training. So let's start adding in where we're from, but don't do it at the beginning. That's what most people normally do, but we don't care. We only care at the end when we like it. You can put it in the middle, that's also fine, so in the solution, but don't put it at the beginning because nobody will be listening. Or if you do put it at the beginning, remember to repeat it at the end as well. So yeah, Karen, I think if we knew where you were from, that would help. I haven't even taught that piece yet, so just reminded me to say that. And then just add the story at the end. That's very good. So that's kind of like if somebody internal asks you, what do you do? You say that.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Thank you. What do you, from meeting here today, have you got any any objectives to meet people in the community, or what or you just here because someone said you've got to cover me quick? Eat sandwiches.
No, a bit of both really. So meeting people in the community, so to develop presentation strengths in the community and internally as well.
Right. Good. Well,
Thank you.
no pressure.
No pressure at all.
We're right time. Why not?
So, you know how some people don't see any value in membership organisations?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what we do at Hertfordshire Chamber of Commerce is we actually talk through our benefits, but more importantly, how they actually suit your individual business needs. Just one story to illustrate that. There was somebody I met at an event like this, and I said, why don't you come along to one of our networking events as a taster? So they came and they actually made 3 valuable contacts, and they actually got new business out of that. So they joined.
Brilliant. Well done. Very good. Excellent. You had all the 3 points in there. That was fantastic. Very good. Who's next over there? I can't see. Hello.
Sorry, hello. David's rubbish a little bit. I wouldn't mind passing, but one thing I did learn from the conference I went to the other day was just to say that I sell dreams.
Okay.
And see what the reaction is.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want my feedback on that, or?
Can do.
Well, what does everyone else? You don't need my feedback. What
I
else?
don't know what sort of dreams.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a travel counsellor. I'm not a travel agent. I book holidays and flights and all travel arrangements by giving a personal service.
So it can work. I think it depends if you get an introvert or an extrovert. I think that would scare the introverts who are already scared.
Yes,
So then if you say I sell dreams, it's like, oh gosh, I don't know what to say now.
yes.
So I think it's okay if you need to grab attention. Personally, I think if you do a good intro anyway, because people are interested in driving stories. And if you tell a story, you're making it easier for the other person. So that's fine. I understand that technique, and I've heard people say it. I think it's nicer to make the other person feel more comfortable. But I like your answer to that question as well. About what you do. That's very good. Okay. How are we doing for time? We're going to skip through to...
we'll skip on Dee because time's
we'll just do 4 more and then we'll be done. Is that that good? And then if we've got time, we can keep it on.
We've done it before.
Are we skipping past Brian as well? So we've got 3 more.
Yeah, if you carry on
Yeah.
with Richard.
Oh, okay.
On the spot there, Richard.
Ooh. I'm just saying, you know how people worry when they've got something coming up that they find intimidating, just like this. But in our case, it's something like a wedding, for instance, which they think is going to go wrong before it even happens. They convince themselves that it will go badly. Well, we're called on catering, so it sounds almost self-evident what we do. But what we do more importantly, is that we take away all the worrying things that people do fret about before events happen, particularly if the event's a long time ahead. And my illustration is we had a client who lived locally. She was marrying somebody in Norfolk, and they wanted the wedding to be in Norfolk because his parents had a farm. And she was worried, and her family were worried, that they wouldn't have any control over what was happening. They wouldn't be able to oversee the arrangements and so on and so forth. So we planned the whole thing with her in Hertford here, with a few trips to Norfolk, and then on the week of the wedding we transported the entire wedding, the marquee, the band, the chairs, the food, the staff, a kitchen, to the farm in Norfolk, so that it was entirely her thing, but it took place in Norfolk. It all went fantastically well for 250 people, and for the year that it took to arrange it, she had effectively all the worry taken off her plate, and we did it for her.
Good. Very good. All of the 3 elements in there. Fantastic story. Just a little bit shorter. Because those good points you can keep in there, just shorten it. Because the thing is about a shorter story is then I go, how did you do that? So don't feel you have to give everything in the story. You're just giving a taster so that I then say, really? And what happened? So just a little bit shorter. Brilliant. Very good.
You know how some people get completely phased by pensions? Well, I can help you to find a way through the kind of pensions maze, both as you're building up your pension and also the really difficult decisions that you make when you're at retirement and how to take your pension. Someone I did some work for the other day had 7 different pensions in different places and didn't have any idea what to do with them and what it meant. He wanted to take his retirement benefits right then. I managed to put them all into place so that he got his 25% tax-free lump sum, paid off his mortgage, and then his retirement income started to be paid from 2 different places. And he is now enjoying life on the golf course.
Great, fantastic. Very good, all of the elements there. And your company name? Thank you.
Sorry. You know how a lot of businesses face challenges in a rapidly changing environment. Well, what we do is that we meet with the business owner and unearth what their most pressing issues are, and then we look to analyse those issues and make recommendations as to how they might be sorted. An example of that would be in 2012 there were a lot of changes in the financial services industry. I went into a company and we redesigned all their processes to meet with the new regulatory environment and gave the business some greater sustainable value going forward.
Great, that was I was waiting for that, and then it worked. Fantastic, well done. Good stuff. So I think we're pretty much out of time now, but did that work for you? Can you see how not only you, and that was without any practice, so that's pretty good, isn't it? Imagine if you just kept to that script as in just the words, right? Imagine if you did that 5 more times. That'd be easy?
Or you think, do that again, but do it a few different bits.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just keep improving, keep to the basic formula. You know how, well, what I do is, and story, practice it in the drive home in the car, and you're done for your next networking program. Thank you very much. I know it takes a lot of bravery for you to go around the table, but I really appreciate that. Hopefully you found the feedback for yourself and from other people you can take on board and improve your own pitches. So, well done.
Thank you very much, Dee. Does anyone have any questions for Dee? Comments? Anything at all?
How are you doing time-wise? Have you got enough
Going
time for
to
questions?
yes, yeah, we have. You'll be doing the lunch.
If you do a 60 seconds every week,
Yeah.
great. Do you still
Yes.
still stick
Exactly,
to that
yeah.
same
So you're a
format?
member of BNI, are you?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So some of the networking organisations want you to do 1 minute. And just in terms of, let me answer, the question you didn't ask is how long is 1 minute? Like that structure will take 1 minute if you just slow it all down. You know how well what I do is, and then the story should be about 40 seconds. So actually if you do follow the formula, it will fit in 1 minute. the story would have 3 pieces to the before, like Steve did 3 things, you know, and then you did 3 things, sorry, like 3 things before, how bad it was, and then how good it was 3 after. So if you do, you know how what I do is 3 things before in the story, 3 things after, that will be 1 minute, it's guaranteed. And to answer your actual question, which is, can I keep the same story? The answer is mostly yes, keep it on the same theme. You'd have a different example each week. But what I wanted to talk about is kind of niching. So if you're a specialist in an area, that's the best thing to be, because people will remember you. If you're just a business consultant for any business anywhere in Hertfordshire, it's very difficult to remember you. If you say I'm a business consultant who specialises in financial service companies or something like that, then all the financial services companies will prick their ears or will think about somebody. So the only thing you want to add on the end for B&I is, because you're asking that question, there's a question which is, who do you know who is a financial services company? Who do you know who is moaning about their pensions? Or who do you know who has got a big presentation coming up? So at the end of your story, if you like, in B&I you can add the who do you know who. But the only way that's effective is if you niche. You know what I mean by niching? So niching is about picking one specific target audience, which goes against every bone in your body. Because most people want to say, I can help anybody. And actually anybody is nobody. Because if I say to you now, who do you know who needs help with their presentation skills? I mean, we've just been talking about it for 45 minutes, you might actually be able to answer me. But generally, who do you think you could refer me, if this was B&I and I was asking for referrals, and I said whatever I said this morning, and then I say, who do you know who needs presentation skills training? I'm not going to ask you, but genuinely, put your hands up if you could refer me to someone. Look, not many, I've just done a 40-minute talk. That's not good, is it? Now, if I say, so if I told you my story about a HR director and how, you know, and then I say, so the HR director was delighted because I worked with their finance director. Who do you know who are HR directors? Now, can I have hands up who knows a HR director? Right. Now, whether you want to refer me to them or not, that's a different matter, because that's all based on rapport and blah, blah, blah. But that's what I've asked for, and now I've got all of a sudden maybe 7 people who might want to talk to me afterwards and potentially give me a referral, or at least start talking to me about that. That's because I niched. But nobody wants to niche, because they want to say, I can help everybody with their presentation skills. But nobody, as an example at the table, nobody helped me. And when I go HR director, and does it work if I say, does anyone know any HR directors, finance directors, or operations managers? Did that work?
Yeah.
For a few of you, because you're being nice now. But if that had happened around the table and 20 people had said 3 types of people they want to meet, it's boring. 1. So each week I would pick on a different one, or even keep the same one for a month or whatever. Because remember, why do TV ads repeat themselves? You've seen the ad once, do they stop then? They play the ad between 3 and 21 times. Exactly the same. So in B&I, technically, you could go up to 21 times. I wouldn't, but certainly 3, similar, and then move niche. But don't move niche like 1 minute you're looking for HR directors, and next minute you're looking for plumbers. That's a bit odd. So within an area. Make sense? Good question.
Did you want to mention your book?
My book? Taming Your Public Speaking Monkeys. Available on the bookshelf over there. £10 today, or on Amazon and all excellent online retailers.
Or it comes with the training course.
Oh, well, yes, exactly, Jan. If you book onto the training course, then of course you get that book included.
Well, you're kind of seen on BBC and ITV.
Yeah.
What were they doing?
So the ITV was the news interview, and then BBC was another news interview actually, but I kind of knew what I was doing by then, so that one wasn't as scary.
What were you being interviewed
Yeah.
On the first one was about confidence of men versus women, because it was a point on pay rise. You know, women are still 20% pay difference, so it was on the pay gap. And my angle was quite different to everyone else's, because my angle was a little bit about, well, we cause it ourselves, because we've got monkeys, we're not asking for promotions, we're not asking for stuff. So, yes, I think there is some sexism, but I also think we create it because we're the ones that aren't asking. We're not ready for the job until we can do it backwards with our eyes shut, and then we ask, can we get promoted? By which time, I know I'm generalising, by which time the bloke has already said, I can do that 2 years ago, because they've often got an attitude of go for it and then learn, which is great. We go, I know, I've got to know how to do it backwards before I even ask for a job. And so we often hold ourselves back. So that's what I was talking about on that. And on the other one for the BBC, I was talking about an app that was about body language app, which is a bit weird. But nonetheless, any opportunity to get on to that.
Any other questions for Dee? No? Okay, well, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you.